Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. We're tackling what is easily one of the most fascinating and, frankly, disruptive tech leaps of our entire lifetime: generative AI. I mean, it feels like we just woke up one day to a world where computers are casually writing poetry, drafting code, and painting masterpieces. But, behind all that everyday magic, there's a really complex engine running the show and some pretty serious hidden dangers. So today, we're going to completely demystify this whole generative AI explosion. We'll pop the hood, see exactly how it works, and most importantly, cover the risks you absolutely need to know to navigate this new landscape safely.
Just to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of what we're dealing with here, think about how fast this took off. Remember when major apps like TikTok and Instagram launched? It took them anywhere from 2.5 to 5 years to hit 100 million users. And honestly, at the time, that was considered unbelievably fast. But ChatGPT, it hit that exact same 100 million user milestone in just 9 months. 9 months? That is completely unprecedented. We aren't just looking at a slow, gradual tech rollout. This is a literal tidal wave. And that kind of speed means society as a whole is adopting this tech way faster than we're actually learning how to use it responsibly.
So, here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with creating versus analyzing. Then we'll look at the engine, LLMs and transformers. After that, AI in everyday life, followed by the dark side, AI risks, and finally, using AI safely.
All right, part 1, creating versus analyzing. You know, the whole concept of artificial intelligence actually goes way back to the 1950s. Back then, it was mostly rule-based systems trying to mimic human intellect. Fast forward to the 80s, and we get machine learning. That's when computers started learning patterns directly from data. Then, by the 2010s, deep learning hit the scene, using multi-layer neural networks to automatically extract features from huge data sets. But here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. All of that traditional AI was fundamentally about analyzing data. It was built to do things like detect a face in a photo, predict the weather, or figure out what's spam in your inbox. It basically took existing information and categorized it or predicted an outcome.
Well, generative AI completely flips that script. Instead of just analyzing stuff that already exists, it actually creates entirely new content from scratch. We're talking about writing text, generating high-res images, composing original audio, and even making video. It has officially stepped out of the realm of pure analysis and crossed over into human creativity. So if you ask it for a picture of, a cat wearing an astronaut suit on Mars, it generates an image that has literally never existed anywhere before. That's the game changer right there. Moving on to part 2, the engine, LLMs, and transformers. So when it comes to generating text, the core tech running the show is called a large language model, or an LLM. The easiest way to think about an LLM is like the autocomplete feature on your phone, but just on massive steroids. These models are trained on a truly staggering amount of text from the internet. They've essentially read millions of articles, books, websites, you name it. And through all that reading, they've learned the statistical probability of which word should logically come next. At the end of the day, they're really just incredibly sophisticated prediction engines. But here's the thing. Predicting the next word is pretty tough if you don't understand the context of the entire sentence. And that is exactly where the transformer architecture comes in. Introduced relatively recently, this computational method completely revolutionized AI. It basically allows the model to weigh the importance of every single word in a sentence against every other word, no matter how far apart they are. This was the massive breakthrough. It's what lets the AI capture those super complex human language patterns and actually hold a natural conversation with you without constantly losing its train of thought. But this actually brings up a huge philosophical and frankly technical question. If the AI is essentially just doing advanced math to predict the next word based on historical data, does it actually understand what it's saying to us? The short answer? No, not at all. It possesses absolutely zero true understanding, no consciousness, and no real intent. What it's giving us is just an incredibly convincing illusion of comprehension, all generated by matching up really intricate mathematical patterns.
Next up, part 3, AI in everyday life.
Despite lacking true understanding, generative AI has seamlessly woven itself into the fabric of our everyday lives. Think about it. You've got families using it to instantly map out completely customized day-by-day travel itineraries. People are using it to summarize massive, dense documents in seconds, or to get super personalized learning recommendations. It's basically a 24/7 creative brainstorming partner that never needs to sleep. Because it can adapt to pretty much any prompt you throw at it, it's democratized access to a personal assistant, a tutor, and a creative collaborator all rolled into one. Let's pivot to part 4, the dark side, AI risks.
Now, because the AI only understands the statistical relationship between words and not actual real-world facts, it's highly prone to something called a hallucination. A hallucination happens when the AI confidently spits out plausible-sounding but entirely false information. And I mean entirely false. It will present a total fabrication with the exact same confident, authoritative tone it uses to tell you the sky is blue. If you just blindly trust it without doing your own fact-checking, you can be very easily misled.
We've actually seen the real-world danger of these hallucinations already. Back in September 2022, during a major typhoon, supposed drone images of a massive flood in Shizuoka, Japan, started spreading like wildfire across social media. I mean, they looked incredibly realistic. People panicked. Real-world emergency responses were almost compromised because of it. But the crazy part? The images were entirely fake, totally generated by an AI. It really highlights how easily this tech can be used, whether intentionally or just by accident, to create highly believable misinformation that causes real public alarm.
But beyond just misinformation, we're looking at a massive threat to data privacy. Take a look at a crazy case from March 2023. Employees at a major global electronics manufacturer were using generative AI to help debug some code and summarize their meetings. Sounds completely harmless, right? Well, to do that, they pasted highly confidential, proprietary source code and internal meeting transcripts directly into the AI prompt. The problem is, many of these AI platforms actually use those user inputs as training data for their future models. So those incredibly sensitive corporate secrets were essentially leaked right into the public domain. And once that data goes into the machine, it is nearly impossible to pull it back out.
Which leads us perfectly into part 5, using AI safely. So how do we protect ourselves? I've grouped these crucial data privacy protocols into a simple rule of 3 that you should really commit to memory. Step 1. Always check the terms of service to see who actually owns the output and how your data is going to be used. Step 2. Keep your inputs minimal. Only give the AI the bare minimum, non-sensitive context it needs to actually complete the task. And step 3. Find the opt-out button.